So Scott, here's the recovery area for brake tubes. You can see today, this is pretty much empty. And it looks like all this tube is already, it's on the other side, which is white, which means it's been recovered. Smart. And on this side, it tells me that it has to be still recovered. Understood. Now, why this side doesn't have tube nuts on it, not quite sure, but it definitely isn't bundled or identified, and the other ones are. So that tells me that maybe it just needs to get cut down to length, and maybe this tube didn't come from the end former, but came from the brake decoiler. And then over here, you can see tube that obviously needs to be cut down. So here, because of the volume that we deal with, I believe what we do here is we cut down the brake, we cut down the tube nuts. We put the tube nuts into different boxes. And it looks like they've taken that to quarantine right now to make sure, there it is right there. What am I talking about? So there's all the tube nuts that we're recovering. This goes through a secondary sorting process where we actually recover the tube nuts. But basically here's where we just cut down the tube, or we cut down the nuts, and here's where we cut down the tube to the actual sizes that are required. And of course, here's the process board for this, and then here's the sheet that we use. That tells us what the lengths are for each of the different part numbers. So basically that covers the recovery area. And you can see it's right next to the brake cutter and right in between the auto end former. So it's in a tight little spot. And I can tell you, this is probably the most discipline I've seen in this area in a long time, because previously it had been getting quite full. We didn't have the discipline of putting a full-time cutter there. But once we did, it worked out for us. And finally, let's just take a quick look at the cutters and the motors on these cutters. I know that this is the older machine, if I'm not mistaken. So let's take a look at it. You can see here the information. This is the Scotsman brand. The motor is also, I guess, rated by Scotsman. So you can see the setup here, and go back around. I know the blades are, this blade's made in Holland. Get you some information on that if you need it. And the motor here, I believe, is different. Not intentionally. I think what we did was when we bought, this is the newer one here, when we bought it, I think it came with a different motor. That's why I showed you the specifics on that motor. Anyway, that's it.